Good afternoon, everybody. And I don't know which part of the world you're in. So depending on where you are, I'm in England, so it's good morning time. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is. And really welcome to this interesting, I hope interesting, I intend it to be interesting, session on dialogue. So there are, first of all, there are different categories of people here. So first, I'd like to welcome those people on the call today who have done a program with us, the Leadership from the Emerging Future program. So if you're one of those people, welcome. Thank you for coming and joining us today. And then the second category of people are people who are guests of somebody, who has been invited by somebody who's done the Leadership from the Emerging Future program with us. And if you're one of the guests, I'd like to really welcome you. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation of your friends and coming to this event. And lastly, those of you you've not been invited by anybody, but you saw our general invitation and joined us. Thank you once again for joining us. So I think straight away, how I'd like to start is by those of you who have some of your guests here, can you kind of introduce your guest to us? Very short, 2-3 lines. Please introduce your guest to us.
Okay, can I?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Today I have Mr. Kasem Chai, past past district governor, Rotary International District 3305 Thailand, with us today. So he's very kind, and he always give a kind suggestion whenever I have a project or a social contribution project that I ask him to give his opinion. He always welcome to do that for me. That's very, I would like to acknowledge that.
Great, Om. Thank you. Thank you for inviting him, and thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, who else? Please introduce your guest. And remember, if you're a guest, if you turn your video on, then we can see what you look like. We like good-looking guests. So, anybody else? Any other graduates? You've got some guests here today, or is... Okay. While we're waiting for somebody to gather up the courage, I'd like some of you who are here today to just tell us, what is it that had you come and participate? Was it the subject? Was it the person who invited you? So is there anybody who'd like to kick off, so to speak, and tell us what had you be here? Let's have a conversation. You know, this thing is called a dialogue, so let's have a dialogue.
Hi, Fred. This is Jagmohan Rishi here.
Yes, Jagmohan.
Yeah, I'm from Mumbai, India. I was just taking a nap when this phone reminded me that there's going to be magic of dialogue. So I was pretty tempted to understand what exactly this magic of dialogue is.
Right.
So I immediately switched it on and had a pleasure of seeing you. I'm totally at loss what I'm expecting here.
Very good. But we're happy to have you. Happy to have you. We hope it'll be a treat for you.
Thank you very much. I look forward. I am a leadership coach, a digital coach over here in Mumbai.
Great. Jagmohan, thank you. All right, somebody else?
Yeah, I would like to say, I am Alpa Biju. Like, I have done Mr. Onkar's one of the session of power of listening.
Right.
So now I am more into that if the power of listening is so powerful, then what will be the power of dialogues? So
Very
basically,
good.
definitely it is going to improve some of the different kind of the like relationships with the dialogues.
Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Alpa Biju. Yes, let's have the next person share. What brings you here? Somebody else was about to.
So, Ferdi, I would like to share.
Yes.
So Ferdi, I have been listening your names is almost more than a decade. Okay, and
Really?
never heard you, never saw you. And today also in my interaction with the Gopal, he somehow say something about you, like you have been his coach, and you have been operation head, and you coached him, and what you said to. So you are alive in conversation all the times. And I had never an opportunity to see you and listen to you personally.
Ah, very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
That
And are you talking about Gopal Rao?
yeah. Today morning
Ah,
also, he just spoke to you about you.
wonderful.
Some distinction you created with him, so he shared about that. So
Yes, yes.
you are alive in his conversation most of the times.
Very good. Thank you, Jitu. Thank you. Somebody else?
Mr. Kasem Chai raise his hand.
Yeah, please go ahead. Just talk.
Okay, I was invited by Kun
Yes.
Nataka. Thank you for her invitation. Why I was here and why I'm here now, because of the intriguing topic of leadership. Leadership is something very difficult easy to write, but difficult to understand and
Yes.
difficult to master.
Yes.
So leadership to me is an action, not by position. So how do you persuade? How do you influence people? And sometimes you need to lead without them feeling that they are being led.
Yes.
And that's so I find it's always a topic very amazing and very challenging for me to master.
Very
and it's
good.
a everyday topic, everyday action that you need to convince, persuade somebody else, either those who are near and dear to you or far away. You always need to influence, persuade, and win their hearts over to
Very
you.
good. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Kasim Shah.
Thank you.
Great. Very much. Thank you. Somebody else? Remember, you don't have to raise your hand, just speak.
Hello, I am Jignasa. And as Jeetu said, we got a message from Shrikant Onkar on one of our group, and I saw Ferdi DSouza's name. So I have never seen Ferdi. I have heard a lot about Ferdi. So I joined this just because of that. So I don't know what it is all about. So I'm absolutely new for this program. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. So you must be with the ILP, right?
I am introduction leader.
You're an introduction leader. Very good. Great. Good to have you. Somebody else? Thank you. Somebody else?
Well, I would like to say why I came here. One, of course, the topic, because the topic is magic of dialogue, And there is one book, I have not read the book, but I have heard about it. There is a book, Magic of Dialogue. Conflict to cooperation, something like that. I don't really remember. So that came in my mind when I read Magic of Dialogue. And also, of course, I have done the course with Mr. Onkar when he took the course in our institution. So that's how I joined the course.
Lovely.
That title which related to something and title itself, I thought, let me see what is there. So
very good. Glad you could come. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy. Somebody else? Thank you. Let's hear for a few more people.
Yes, Ferdi, I'm Dr. R.S. Dabas. I attended your landmark forum way back in 98.
Oh.
And then this was 3 months back, I attended one more session, and you're always inspiring, very, very transformative sessions. So I'm keen for this session. That was my purpose.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You want to say something? Okay. So if one thing you could do, by the way, if you don't want to speak, if you could just put it on chat, like, what are you here for? What would you like to get? Like that.
Mhm.
Okay. And Manoj, I have a
Sri Bhupan, you are,
Hello.
go
Can you
ahead.
hear me? Hello.
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was talking. I think.
I think your internet is causing a problem, Sri Bhupan.
Can you
If you
reconnect, please?
sign off and sign on again, that will be lovely.
Ravi Kumar, welcome.
Okay. So then let's really get into the subject matter. Okay. If you look at, see, I titled, if I can take you to the slide. You see, I titled, can you see the slide or have I not shared it? Hold
Oh,
on.
not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to share it in a second. Okay, so there you are. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me make it full screen, okay? There you go. So the thing is, I know we called it the magic of dialogue, and really it's magical when dialogue does happen. But I've called it here the missing ingredient, and I'd like to spend a few minutes having a conversation with you. And this is really the modality, the way this seminar will go will be as a dialogue, interact. So if you don't interact, it's not a lecture. I'm not going to give you a lecture. We're going to interact. And it's more like a Socratic dialogue. So it's more like I'll ask you questions and then you'll answer them, something like that. Okay. So let's take a look at. If you look at our situation in India, in the country, politically, if you look at our situation in the home, between our family members, if you look at our situation with our neighbors in the housing societies, if you look anywhere, right, what do you see? What comes out straight at you? Immediately, in terms of dialogue, what comes out straight at you? Anybody?
Arguments.
Arguments, very good.
Fight.
Fights?
Fight?
No, not fights like physical, right? More like
Yeah, no, a conversational fight.
conversational fights, right?
Cooperation.
Discussions.
Discussions, cooperation,
Debate.
debate.
Conveying.
Sorry,
Accusations.
accusations, debates,
Brainstorming.
brainstorming, right? But if you look at what is common, ubiquitous, that means it's there everywhere. You see it all the time. What is the thing you see all the time?
Communication.
Or is it communication or lack of?
Oh, sorry, didn't get your question.
Yeah, if you look at your family, look at the parliament, look at what's happening in the world, look at the newspapers, look at the radio, television, interviews. What is most prominent?
Everyone likes to talk, but no one wants to listen.
Yeah, everyone likes to talk, nobody wants to listen, and consequently, it leads to arguments, doesn't it?
Yep.
If people are arguing with each other. You see the subject here, we called it from debate, which is what you see happening a lot of the time, to dialogue. And to where dialogue will take us, the magical part of it, to co-creating. So we want to actually examine, we want to inquire into what's going on in the world right now, what's missing, and is there a way we can provide what's missing? Okay. So you're going to need to actively participate to make this a success. I'm going to take off the screen in a minute because It just takes up too much of the screen. And I want to see everybody's face, although it's a tiny face still. It's good to see people. And there are very shy people who've turned off their videos. Stop being shy. You know, you can be bold and show yourself, okay? Now, here we are. Great. More people are showing themselves. That's wonderful. So now, if you tell the truth about relationship and Sri Bhupan, as soon as you good, thank you. As soon as you turn your microphone on, there's an echo. So where was I? Where was I before Sri Bhupan interrupted me so rudely?
To tell the truth.
Tell the
Relationship also.
Yeah, if you look at our relationship, we look at our communication, we look at our interactions, we will see that most of the time, like the gentleman said earlier, Sudhir, I think, everybody wants to talk and nobody wants to listen. Everybody wants to talk, nobody wants to listen. So what do you think? Why does everybody want to talk? Or why do people not want to listen? Remember, this is an inquiry, so we have to talk.
Because they want to be right. They want to be right.
We want to be right. Not only we want to be right, we know we are right.
Yeah. Right? We are right, yeah.
We know we are right. And the other persons are wrong. If they don't agree with us, they're wrong. How can they say that? We've got the truth. We've got reality. They don't. Theirs is not real. That's what we think. So everybody wants to talk. Nobody wants to listen. So what does that lead to? Everybody talking, nobody listening. What does it lead to?
Clashes.
Patient breakdown.
Breakdown? What's the word before breakdown?
Breakdown of communication.
Oh, breakdown of communication. That's right. Breakdown of communication. No communication.
People feel unheard. People feel unheard.
People feel unheard. Very good.
Impact on relationship.
Impact on relationship. And it's not a positive impact, is it?
Yeah, negative impact.
Negative
Stress.
impact on relationship.
Stress.
Stress, yeah, very good. Stress. What about effectiveness?
It will go zero.
Yeah,
That
we
is
lose our effective. We're not as effective because we're arguing all the time. And the other person is also arguing. So it's like this. You push this way, they push that way, you push that way. This way. So in the end, we're in the same place, pushing at each other. That's what's happening. And seriously, it is happening in the way this country, because I'm not Indian at the moment, I'm English, but it is having an impact on the way the country is governed. Your country, India, Thailand, the Philippines, the UK, is having an impact on how it's governed. And everybody's arguing, everybody is making the other person wrong. So is that going to produce any positive results, you think? Yes,
No.
Sudhir is shaking his head. But is that, no, right?
No.
No positive results. It's
Yes.
mainly just going to be, so let's examine something here, okay? I want to do this in two parts. One is I want to talk about listening, because as you said, no one's listening. Everybody wants to speak and nobody wants to listening. And then the other part about speaking and listening, the dialogue part. So let's look at both the parts, okay? So, where am I? Here you are. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let's look at this slide. We're now having a look at listening, okay? you can see that there are 4 different levels of listening that are put up there. There could be n number of types of listening, but let's for the moment look at these 4 that we're talking about, okay? And then if you look, you'll see there's a circle and the red dot in the middle, right? So in the first one, it's called download from habit. How do we listen? We generally listen from habits, from right and wrong, from opinions. We listen to reconfirm old opinions and judgments. That's what we're listening for. And if anything doesn't reconfirm our opinion or judgment, what do we say about it?
That's not correct.
That's not correct. That's not true. So the only thing that's true is our opinion and our judgment. Now, how many of you can kind of see that for yourself? That if it doesn't agree with your opinion or judgment, it's not true, it's not right. You think you can raise your hand or something so we can see it? What do you say? Yeah, only one person, nobody else. Don't you see that that's the case with you as well? I'm just going to stop.
It is. It is to an extent because we believe that when we give our opinion, we believe it to be true. That's why we give the opinion.
Right. But if you examine that, you will, if you look at your everyday interactions, how many times in the day do you change your opinion?
Well, I come from a learning and development background, so I believe that if somebody can give me a logic, I don't mind changing my.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking you, how many times have people in your life succeeded in giving you the logic so you could change your mind? How many times yesterday? How many times today? Here's the answer. Not very often.
It's not that
Not
often.
very, very rare. Then the question becomes, how come we are intelligent people who are open to listening to other people? How come very rarely do we get any data that changes our mind?
Yeah, it's rare. It's very rare.
Yeah. So Vinisha, I'm asking everybody as well. This is not just you. You're welcome to speak, but I just don't want to think of talking only to you. I'm talking to everybody. Why do you think that is the case?
Because we in our head are convinced that, mostly we are right.
Yes. Yes. And if you examine it carefully, that mostly is really always we are right.
Yeah.
And also it panders to the biases that we hold.
Yeah.
And that's a confirmation bias. It's uncomfortable to let go of it. And logic will not cut it. Just logic will not cut it.
Yeah. You know, we will not hear the logic in it. If there's data that's contrary to what we believe in, then we won't even hear that data. Or if we hear it, we discount it. And by the way, I'm saying we, so that we are not thinking about them. I mean, you clearly can see they don't hear it and they discount it. But it's useful to look at oneself and say, oh, I don't hear it and I discount it. And mostly it's more rigid in our closest relationship. Vinisha, right? Vinisha, you are pretty professional at your work and you think, but then when it comes with your partner, when it comes with your children, suddenly it is not so rational or it's not so thoughtful. You know, because
I have a teenage daughter and she keeps breaking my barriers, so I'm not sure about that.
Well, why does she have to work so hard to break your barrier?
Because we all have our experiences and a mindset.
Yeah. So we are looking at this this missing ingredient called dialogue. And we're looking at why there's more debate than dialogue in our life, why there's more argument and pushing against something than there is going hand in hand with somebody, which is what a dialogue is, going hand in hand with somebody. So I'm going back to sharing the screen. And there we are. So this is the most basic way we listen. We listen from downloading. And downloading is, we listen from our habits. We are always in our listening. We are very rarely disconfirming anything. Mostly we are reconfirming judgments, opinions. Oh, he is like that only. She is like that only. We are like that only. This political party is like that only. This political party is like this. All that. There's a reconfirmation. Now, if you look at an analogy of that, right? Consider that you are in a circular room. You see the white circle here? You are in a circular room, and you're right here in the middle. Now, this room has got windows all around, glass windows all around. So 360-degree view. But there are curtains drawn all the windows. And so you can't see outside. In the middle of the room, there's a projector, video projector that projects onto the screen videos. And what's in these videos? Opinions and judgments and assessments. That's there. And you're in this room, you and me, we are in this room, and we're looking at all these projections, our own judgments, and my projections. And that's a boundary there, the glass boundary. And it's the boundary of my world. And I don't see anything outside the glass windows because they're all draped with screens, and on the screens are all these videos that are there. Can you get that? Can you kind of experience that that might be the case with you, me, with all of us, with people generally? So that's how we are. Now, how do you get in that kind of a world? Can any dialogue be possible? If that is how we listen, can dialogue be possible? You have to say yes or no. I don't know. Some people will say yes. No, it's not possible. Right?
Almost impossible.
Impossible, yeah. So in order to dialogue, we have to move from this level of listening, we're calling download. We have to move to a level where we're calling factual or outside. We have to listen with an open mind. What is that like in the analogy, in the circular room? It's like you go to the window and draw the curtain and you watch what's going on outside. Now that's open mind. Now, when you watch what's going on outside, what you'll notice is disconfirming data that disconfirms your stuck opinions and judgments. Now, you and I cannot see this disconfirming data until we open our mind. If we don't open our mind, we cannot see it. So we need to be able to notice how much we are downloading, set it aside, then go to the window and draw the curtain, look outside, and start to notice the disconfirming data. Now, is it possible to dialogue in this space? From this space? Yes, no, maybe?
No.
Did somebody say no?
No. Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And if you say no, why do you say no?
Only we are observing. We are not just it's observation, right? Noticing, right? There. Open the window.
I said, is it possible to dialogue?
It is possible to dialogue.
Right. And as somebody said, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. And whoever said sometimes it is and sometimes it's not, why is it not if it's not?
It is because it's not possible for our mind to open all the time.
Yeah, because we open our mind, shut it. Open our mind, shut it. Open our mind, shut it. And that's what happens. By the way, if you're participating here, I'd like you to notice if you're saying to yourself, that's not me. Well, I don't agree with that. Notice if that's the case, because you want to find yourself. I suggest you find yourself in this conversation rather than take yourself out of this conversation. Because if you do, the magic of dialogue will become possible. I'll tell you why, okay, in a little bit. Okay, you open your mind, right? But just opening your mind, just the factual information is not sufficient to get into relationship. I don't know about you, but when me and my wife fight, the facts don't count. Because I see the facts in one way, my wife sees the facts in another way. Is that not the case with you?
Yes.
Yes.
It is, right? So something else is involved, not just factual listening. The third one is listening, which is listening from the open heart. You need to listen from the open heart. That is, instead of just looking from your eyes, you look from your eyes, you actually step into the other person's shoes and look from their eyes. What does it look like? It's here. You see, oh, sorry. You see now, the circle has got dots all over the place, right? So you get out of the circular room, you go to where your wife, husband, child, boss, prime minister is, and you look at yourself from their eyes. Go to the place of the other and see through the eyes of another. That's called empathic listening from within the social field. And it requires you to open your heart. Open your heart. So that's another level of listening that is required for dialogue. And the fourth level of listening is where dialogue is where you go from dialogue. When you start doing dialogue, where do you go from that? You go to generative. You go to creating something. And that's why, see, it says here from debate to dialogue to co-creating. You start creating together because now you're dialoguing so you can create together. So I'm going to just stop for a moment and give you an opportunity to ask any questions. So questions, comments, or just to make a remark or whatever. What do you think about what I've shown you so far?
Ferdi, could you explain the generative in the context of listening? Not too sure what that would mean when we are moving from listening with a closed mind, listening with a fixed mind, listening with your heart, more from empathy standpoint, to generative listening. What would that
when you're listening generatively, that is not a place we normally live in. But to explain it, it is where you are listening to another person from the future that they can be. Not just from the present, because they are at the moment, they may be struggling, they may be hurt, like Vinisha talks about her teenage daughter, right? If you when they're angry and upset and they're struggling or they don't know where they want to go, looks like they don't have any future, you are the one who has to keep the future open. Because if you don't keep the future open, they have no space to get into the future. So that fourth level of listening, Kamaldeep, is really listening for the future that somebody can be, the possibility that somebody can be, even though they don't see it for themselves. Is that making sense to you?
I have a question.
Who's the you who has a question? Ritu, no, let me finish with Kamaldeep. Kamaldeep, is that?
well, Ferdi, I'm processing it. When you say that,
can you turn your video on, or is that like
yeah,
a non?
No, I'm kindly challenged for bandwidth, but I'm just thinking when you say that listening from a place of possibility.
Listening for the possibility in
For
the
the
other.
possibilities.
Possibility in the other. You see that something's possible for them when they themselves can't see it. And by the way, it's not unknown to you because you've done that from time to time. You've looked at somebody and said, they don't see it for them, but you say, no, this person can. They can do it. But remember, it has gone through empathy because it won't happen in a downloading. It won't happen in just factual listening. You listen from the heart, you get connected from the heart. And when you get connected from the heart, then it becomes possible to see, to get connected from the soul, so to speak, the spirit, so to speak. And you can start to see who that person can be as a future, as a possibility. It's okay for you to process this, but I think you got what I'm saying, right?
Yes, thank you, Ferdi.
Great.
Ferdi, if I were to elaborate or if I were to take a proper example, when Jawaharlal Nehru spoke on the eve of freedom, the interest of free, he spoke to the possibility of India that we can be rather than the current state of India. Would that be the perfect example?
Yeah, that's a good example. It's not very useful for us. What's more useful for us is to look at the people who are near and dear to us right now and how we relate to them. But actually, I wouldn't spend too much time on it just now because you need to develop level 2 and level 3 before you can be strong enough in level 4. Okay. But a good example, Manish. All right. So then let me now see, this is listening. As somebody said, this is how you listen, right? But I think it's fundamental. It's important because you can't have a dialogue without listening, because the one problem with people is they don't listen. They just want to speak. Now let's have a look at, let's say you got this mindset, you're listening from a particular way, you're able to listen to the other person's perspective, a point of view. So let's see if I can go one more step further. What happened? Yeah, okay. Now these are, to have a dialogue, there has to be another person, right? There has to be another person. So there has to be speaking and listening. It's not just listening, because nothing much is no conversation is going to happen, just listening, speaking and listening. So now we're looking at conversational domains, or conversational fields of conversation. So one kind, if you look at one way we communicate to other people, is we don't want to rock the boat. It's called talking nice.
Excuse me.
Yes, you are excused.
Yeah. So Prerna Asher here. Sorry to disturb you. I have a question regarding the previous thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask your question.
So I completely get the 4 levels of communication, but
No,
I can see clearly.
Listening, 4 levels of listening. Sorry, they're not 4 levels of communication. They're 4 levels of listening.
Sorry, 4 levels of listening. But
Right.
what I can see for myself is when listening of other person who is very close to me, what came as a barrier for me from generating and empathizing is expectation from other person. If I'm able to empathize with that other person, why he is not looking at my world, and why he or she is not, following all the steps of what, and that create a another level of conversation in my head rather than moving to next level.
Yeah,
So
right.
Yeah.
So it's a good quandary to have, good conundrum, and it's one that most people have that justifies them being stuck where they are stuck. I'm not saying you're justifying, but it's a real issue for you. I got it. So now can you hold on to it? Don't do
Yes.
anything with it. We're going to get somewhere in a little bit. Then you can ask that question again. Okay.
Yes.
So now we're talking about speaking and listening. We're talking about 2 people or 5 people having conversations, or 10 people, right? A conversation. So this is a conversation, and a conversation, there has to be speaking, there has to be listening, there has to be speaking, there has to be listening. Now, one kind of field for conversations, like a magnetic field, one kind of field, is talking nice, is downloading. What is talking nice? Talking nice is speaking from what others want to hear. You will only say what others want to hear. If they cannot hear it, you won't say anything. So what that ends up in is polite routines. Yes, sir, yes, sir. Empty phrases. And you end up conforming, fitting with other people. And you don't say what you think. That's one level of conversation. You see that on a one-to-one basis. You also see that on a one-to-a-group basis, you know. So then the other level, little higher level than downloading, because in downloading, nothing much happens. It's all the same old, same old, same old. And the other level, at least something will happen. There's debate, argument, talking tough. So in this level, you don't speak from what other people want to hear, you speak from what you think. I think that's you. You speak from what, and the good thing about it is, when people do that, you get divergent views. You know, in the first case, you don't get any divergent views. Everyone say, yes, sir, you are right, sir, you are right, sir. We should do what you say, sir. But over here, say, no, sir, I don't agree. All that is happening. So there's debate, divergent views. But the problem in this level, in this field of conversation, is that people become their point of view. And it's all about confronting the other person, saying what you think. All the arguments you have in your life come at this level. Debate, talking tough. Then, of course, you get beaten down and you go back to the first level. And then you say, yes, yes, you're right, you're right, you're right. So it's either 1 or 2. And both these fields of conversation are not productive. They don't produce anything productive. So I'm just going to pause this for a while because I want to get some dialogue going from you now about this. So any comments or anything you want to say about what I pointed to you? Yes, Sudhir.
Yeah, the point 2 is like reminding your wife to get ready every half an hour when she already told you she'll get ready in 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
That's tongue in cheek, isn't it? Every half an hour, you're reminding her, and she said she'll get ready in 5 minutes. Can you hear all that in the background?
She'll get ready in 5 minutes. Yeah, but every half an hour, you shouldn't remind her.
Right. Well, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. If you didn't remind her, maybe you should never get ready for 45 minutes. Who knows? But I got your point. I think your point is valid. But my question was, is it productive? Does it produce the result?
So I have a view here, Ferdi. In my organization, when I talk tough, it gets me results. When I
it does, because they are all, Manish, it does, because they are all in level 1 field.
Right. So they conform to my view.
They conform to your view. It doesn't mean anything. It's a level 1 field. You're the one who's talking tough, but everybody else is, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir, he's the boss, salary over there. I could lose my job. Let me keep quiet. I should. And so, are you getting the kind of input you need to get so you can make the proper decisions?
No. So no co-creation, no such thing happens.
Yeah, you could be making the wrong decision. No one will tell you. That's not in your nose. No one will tell you it's not in the nose. You go around walking, oh, it's not hanging from your nose.
Right.
Because nobody wants to tell you that. So that's the second field, okay?
It's like a boss saying to a full room of people, I don't want any yes boss people here. And they say,
That's right.
okay, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Absolutely.
It is.
Somebody wants to say something? Sorry, I heard my
Yes,
name.
sir, I want to say something.
Sure.
So my question, what I want to know, stepping from level 1 of listening to the second to third and to fourth, how long does it take? And what I think it's different for the different sector. And I mean, at some places, turning them from level 1 to factual to generative and to it may take 15 years of time sometimes.
No, it'll be a big problem, right? If it takes 15 years, nothing much will get done. If it gets done, it'll get done in 15 years. In 15 years, you'll start the 5 minutes, as we said again, after 15 years. So no, the thing is, stay where we are, Ritu. You've done the programs, you've gone ahead. Stay where we are, okay? Where we are is, we're pointing out there is level 1 field of conversation. You're pointing out there is level 2 field of conversation. I think what will be useful for everybody is to notice where in your life and with whom are you at level 1 field of conversation, and where in your life and with whom are you at level 2 field of conversation, and what is the negative impact of that on your life.
Veena here.
Yes,
In
Veena.
my organization with my boss, I am in level 1.
Right.
And with my junior who is working with me, I'm level 2.
Yes.
And impact is whatever I'm saying, he is telling no, I will stop. And the same thing has to be done after 2 days, the delay in the work.
Yes.
And
Very good.
with my junior, lot of stress I can see.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, out of empathic kind or it is shifted, but it happens. That's what I can see.
I understand. Thank you, Veena. Very good. Somebody else? What do you see as the impact of being in level 1 or level 2?
It's like the same thing happening again and again. It's very mechanical. It has become very mechanical.
It's Groundhog Day, isn't it? There's a movie called Groundhog Day.
Right.
Every day you wake up, the same thing is happening again. You wake up the next day, the same thing is happening. Wake up the next day, the same thing is happening. Right. So somebody who hasn't spoken yet, and especially if you haven't done our programs, you're a guest. What do you see? What do you hear?
Oh, very, very interesting about listening, about interaction, the importance. I think listening is a skill that is very difficult to master.
Yes.
People,
and if you don't, if you don't master it, you can't go further.
Right. It is easy to find speakers, but difficult to find listeners.
Yeah,
we always need ears, but ears are very rare. Ears are a rare commodity.
Yeah, and we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. But we do it in a different proportion. We talk twice as much as we listen.
That's the way God tells us we should speak only half of what you listen, or you listen twice before you speak.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay, somebody else? What do you hear? What do you see? Any comments you have? Any questions you have? Okay, so then looks like nobody has any comments or questions. When you come and participate in our course, there'll be much more dialogue. People will start talking more and interacting more. If we just did this, we'd never get the course done, okay? Jitu, are you anything to say for you?
Not really, Ferdi.
Any insights you're getting about yourself and how you are?
Yeah, so just about listening. So I have been wired some other distinction of listening. So currently, and my brain is working in different directions, like, just adapting it, how it works, how new terminology and new words. And so,
Well,
so I'm
you're
just,
listening to what we are saying from your downloading of the past.
yeah.
So you're in downloading. So you need to open your mind and then open your heart. So don't worry about already always listening. This is not the same distinction. This is a different distinction.
Yeah.
The easier one, by the way. Okay. Thank you, Jitu. You will struggle as long as you don't let go of that, what you already know. You really do have to let go of what you already know.
Unlearn something, unlearn. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, great. Somebody else?
The
Anything?
technology to unlearn.
Yes, this
So
technology.
I wanted to, hi, I'm Jignasa. What I am right now, Katie, is whatever I am in level 1 and level 2, there is all common thing which is happening. There is nothing new or nothing is coming out newly.
Yeah,
Because
it's all
anyways,
old.
yeah,
It's all
anyways,
same
which
old,
I am
same old.
already, yeah, which is already I have, or whatever experience I have, I'm listening from that, from judgment and making people right, wrong. And I give other person the scope to speak, but that is still limited.
Yes.
And that person will speak from what they know. And there is no newness which I am experiencing right now.
Yeah, and if you take a moment, you'll see that the lack of newness comes from you're listening from level 1.
Yeah.
Listening, not conversation, but listening from level 1, right? From your opinions and judgment. And when they speak, you don't have an open mind. So you don't listen to what they say if it contradicts what you think.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're able to listen to what they say, even if it contradicts what you think, now that's an open mind.
You nailed it, Ferdi.
Yeah. And then the next step is you open your heart to them. Open the feelings. You start to feel. Allow yourself to, because just this facts are unfeeling. You got no feeling in it. But you start to get their feeling. Why are they feeling that? Why are they saying that? And when they say that, how do they feel? It's a different world. But Jignasa, thank you so much for sharing that.
So
Okay.
Ferdi, when you listen from level 4, which is the generative listening, what would you be doing differently as a listener?
Mostly it's not possible to listen from level 4 until you recognize you're listening from level 1 and you set it aside, and then you open your mind and you listen from level 2. And that is pretty hard to do, because if you look at your daily experience, when have you heard something new? As Jignasa just said, you don't hear anything new because your mind is not open. And then the most difficult thing is to open your heart. Really, until you can do these first 3 steps, don't even talk about level 4. Level 4 will come. You do the first 3 steps, level 4 will come automatically.
And are these necessarily sequential?
No, not sequential, but in some ways it is sequential, because if you don't hear contradictory data, how are you going to actually get into another person's world? So I'm not saying you got to do it step by step, but it does kind of happen sequentially. But don't worry about the sequence. See, Kamaldeep, right now, you're attempting to analyze what is being said and understand what's being said so you can apply it, right? That's what most of us do. That's our brain thinking. We think from the brain, we think analytically, and we want to apply. But you see, human beings don't only live in the brain. They live in the heart, and they live in the gut. And we don't access that aspect of ourselves, our heart aspect, and a gut aspect. And because this one is so overpowering, everything goes into analyzing, understanding, and application. So it turns transactional rather than being relationship based. So now that I've, can you hang on for a minute? I want to go back to the fields of conversation again. Yeah. So there is downloading, talking nice, there's debate. Now and both of those are not very productive. They don't produce much. Now we come to the subject of today's talk, which is dialogue. What is dialogue? What's the difference between a dialogue conversation as compared to a downloading conversation or a debate conversation? What's the difference? Well, let me say it, okay? In the downloading conversation, you're not speaking and you're not listening either. Because while you say, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, you know, they're saying the same old, you don't want to hear them. But you can't say anything, so you keep quiet and just say the things they want to hear. In the debate conversation, nobody's listening either. There's somebody speaking, but nobody's listening. Nobody's listening to the other person. They're listening to themselves, that's all. So what's lacking in level 1 and level 2 field of conversation is listening. There's no listening happening. There is speaking happening, definitely speaking happening, very solid speaking happening in level 2, but there's no listening. Now, level 3, there is speaking and there is listening. So you have a point of view. You actually do speak your point of view. You do say what you think. You don't hold it back like in level 1. You do say it. But you also have 2 ears, so you open your ears and you listen to what they have to say. Does it mean you agree with what they have to say? No. Does it mean you disagree with what they have to say? No. But you're listening with an open mind. So you can hear something that you cannot hear if your mind is closed. So this level of listening, of conversation, is where you're speaking from seeing yourself as part of the whole. In the first 2, there's only ego speaking. In the first one, your ego is going to be suppressed by the big boss's egos. You keep it protected and quiet and don't say anything. In the second one, you open your ego and fight with them from your ego. In the third one, there's no ego. This is, you are speaking from seeing yourself as part of the whole family or relationship or job or work or whatever. You're part of the whole. There is a problem that needs to be resolved. And that problem cannot be resolved just from my seeing. I need to see from where they're seeing. I need to hear what they have to say. I need to feel what they have to feel. So this needs to, you shift from defending your point of view to inquiring into viewpoints, their viewpoint, your viewpoint, and you start connecting. And it leads to reflecting. You start reflecting. On your part, you start reflecting. That's why we call it a reflective inquiry. So that's dialogue. I'm not going to go to level 4 because until you can do dialogue, you can't do collective creativity. But what dialogue will do is enable level 4. So first, let's just stay with level 3 or dialogue. So now look at the practical problems that are there, okay? When you want to have a dialogue with somebody who disagrees with you, whose point of view is totally opposite to your point of view, what happens then?
Breakdown.
Right. So how do you deal with that, right? The question is, how do you have a dialogue in a situation like that? Because dialogue will make a difference. It's the magic. But how do you get your hands on that magic?
Inquiry.
Well, see if you can. There's something simpler than that. What's missing in the first two levels?
Maybe inquiry from a place of
Listening's missing.
curiosity.
Listening is missing in the first two levels, right? So what could you actually start doing in level 3? Since listening is missing, you could start what?
Acceptance.
Yeah, but before you start acceptance, you could start listening, right?
Yeah, listening from a place of curiosity, genuinely.
Yeah, but just really listening to what they're saying. What are they saying? Put aside your downloading and listen. You have to listen, putting aside your downloading. As well, it has said, listen from a place of curiosity. But just really listen to what they have to say. Why are they saying what they're saying rather than rejecting it out of hand? No, 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 that's not right. That's not right. They can't be that way. They can't be thinking. They're stupid. Can't they say logically it can't be that way? No. Listen, that human being has that perspective. They must be having a reason for it. What is their reason for that perspective? And if you hear the reason, you'll say, no, 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 that's not reasonable. They shouldn't have that reason. But they do have that reason. Until that reason is dealt with, you're not going to have any dialogue. And I want you to look at your own personal, intimate relationship with your spouse, with your partner, with your children. It's the same thing. So,
Ferdi,
yeah.
I'm Sushila here. I was just wondering, the second level, there is listening, I believe, but the listening is not really to understand. It is more to respond. And that's how the debate carries on.
Yeah, but do you call that listening?
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I'm here, the person is just listening to be able to get back, in a way, attack or defend, either of the two.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why we said, hold it again. You shift from defending.
Right.
You listen to defend, but in level 2, but you shift from defending to inquire into viewpoints.
Right.
So, yeah, thank you. So one of the things you need to do is to start listening, right? Start listening to what you don't want to hear.
Correct.
And we are very, I don't know about you, but I hate to listen to what I don't agree with. Because it's a load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. No. I'm not kidding you. I'm seriously stuck in that place. And I suspect you are too.
True.
So if we want to get out of this place, we have to develop the muscle of being able to listen with an open mind and an open heart. What will help us to listen to some of the things that we don't agree with is the open heart. Because then we can see it from their perspective. And when we see it from their perspective, we can say, oh, yeah, looked at from that perspective, you may be right. Or she may be right. You know what I'm saying? So now, here's the thing. This is easy to talk about, right? But if you want the magic, what do you have to do? Practice it. It's not so easy to practice it. So now, let's see how difficult it is to practice it. So, two people who are willing to demonstrate something. To demonstrate listening, demonstrate having a conversation. Level 3, feel the conversation. So let's take a subject that most people don't have an agreement on. What could that be?
Politics, religion.
Politics, religion. Anything else? Those are pretty hot topics, so I'm not very sure I want to go there. So
Can you try at a home topic?
What did you say?
Can I try? I mean, my daughter wants a dog at home and I don't want a dog at home.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, very good. So your daughter wants a dog at home. You don't want a dog at home. So who's going to be his daughter? I want to do a demonstration. Somebody's got to take the part of his daughter. Vinisha, okay, Vinisha, you're his daughter, but turn your video on, okay? So, right.
Yeah.
So let's see you having a conversation. Now go ahead. Vinisha, you talk to him. Jagmohan, you talk to her.
Yeah.
So you want me to start?
Whoever, somebody else.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Dad, I think it's about time I have a company at home and I want a dog. And I think I'm grown up enough to take care of it.
It's good. The dog is it's a lovable animal and they love humans a lot. But I'm not in favor of keeping dogs, pets, particularly in apartments. They're more suitable for open areas like bungalows, like what we have in Punjab. But in Bombay, I think it is not advisable. Secondly, we don't have time. You will bring the dog at home and, you will leave it to us to take care of it, to take the doctor and all that training and other things.
Dad, of course, I will need your support. Without that, I can't. But what makes you think that, dogs can't live in apartments? Because, right across the neighborhood, you can see so many dogs in our building itself.
Yeah, that's true. That is my personal choice because it is little inhuman, or I should say it's not right for us to keep dogs in a controlled environment. They see how they are happy in the open spaces.
But like you said, they are lovable animals. They are more happy with people around them. It's not really the space.
It is. Do you think you are bringing the doggy puppy at home for your, and think from the puppy's point of view? Is he or she happy about it?
Okay, so now we'll stop for a moment. We'll stop for a moment, okay?
Yep.
And what's working and what's not working?
We are taking our stand.
I think the patience of the father is working very well.
So you're starting to change your mind about it?
Sorry?
Did you say the patience of the father is working? Who said that?
I said that, Ferdi.
Yeah, but you're not at the receiving end. So let's hear from the receiving end. Vinisha.
I identified with that problem and I lost my patience with my son. So that's the first thing I noticed.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So Vinisha, what's working and what's not working? And Jagmohan, what's working and what's not working?
I think
Vinisha, you go first.
Yeah, I think that comes from a huge bias, and there are certain concepts that he has that he is not willing to open his mind to, is what I feel.
So the question was what's working and what's not working.
So the bias is not working, but but what's working is that at least we are discussing. I'm trying. I may be getting through to him. So that's there, but that's what's working.
Okay, good. So what's working and not working for you, Jagmohan?
From my side, she's not raising her voice, definitely. She's not acting like a, typically spoiled kid. And she's making a reason that, they're lovable animals. And I need a partner at home, definitely. It is another one, good one. But she's stuck to her stand without losing her emotion, I'll say it.
Okay. So what did
she's becoming a good daughter, basically.
What did we say was missing, which should be present at level 3? In level 1, it's not there. In level 2, it's not there. What is that?
Listening.
Listening.
Empathy.
Right.
Empathy.
Yeah, but listening, right? Basically, in simple language, listening. Listening to whom?
defending is working, listening is not working.
Yeah, but you need to listen. I'm talking to the two of them, okay, guys? I know you'd like to say something. So listening, Venetia, are you listening to your dad's perspective?
Yes, I am.
Are you really getting that his perspective is valid?
I don't think so. It is, yeah, I don't think it's valid.
Yeah, so until you can get that his perspective is valid, for you to see that his perspective is valid, where do you have to stand?
At his place.
Right. So from his point of view, is it valid?
Yeah, of course. From his point of view, it's valid. That's why he's arguing, or
Yeah.
he's presenting it.
Yeah. So, but you're not getting his perspective as valid.
Right.
Until you get his perspective as valid, there's a certain stuckness.
Right.
So just hang on for a minute. Let me go to Jagmohan. So Jagmohan, are you listening to her?
You're on mute.
I am not listening to her. Primarily, I am stuck with my, I think deep down, I am stuck with my thought process that, what she wants, a pet, and I am stuck that whatever, I mean, it is not good in apartments. And that's what I am stuck with.
It becomes a tug of war.
It becomes a tug of war, definitely.
It's an ego versus ego situation.
I'm trying to be logical over here.
Yes. Yeah. But logical, sometimes you have to give up logic.
Yeah.
And you have to open your heart. Now, are you getting any insights into what your daughter must be feeling when you behave this way?
Maybe she is feeling lonely and she wants something more time from maybe us parents, and rather than we can try it out another option. What if we can spend more time together?
Yeah, but you're still trying to solve the problem.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
You're not giving up something. What is it you're not giving up?
Control.
Could be, but it's more your perspective called dogs don't work. Dogs in flats don't work. That one you're pretty rigid about. And she gave you an example. What example did she give you? By the way, I don't know whether there's somebody's talking in the background of you two guys or somewhere else.
No, there's somebody else is talking.
Yeah, just put her on mute, everybody else, okay? Not you, Jagmohan, you can talk.
Yep.
I think it's in your background. Somebody in your house is talking.
No, I think it's my background. I'm at work.
Okay. So here you are. I am pointing something to you, Jagmohan, because this is a real situation you're facing with your daughter, right? So can you see, can you get empathetic? Can you see how she must be feeling standing in her shoes? The father, he's the boss. He's the big guy. You got to listen to what he says. Oh, she'll patronize me and make me feel nice, but he's not going to change his mind, not one bit. And he hasn't taken a moment to understand what's going on with me. And he understands that I'm feeling lonely, so we should spend some more time with you. We should this. It's a solution of a problem, not an experience of the situation.
That's right.
Right? So now you're a leadership coach, right?
We get into the, yeah, that's true.
So if you're a leadership, what do you tell the people you're training to be leaders?
I definitely ask a question and that, rather than giving a solution.
Yeah, but not only that, but don't you tell them you got to see things from the other person's point of view?
Absolutely. How can we see things differently?
Yeah, how seeing things from their perspective allows you to see why they are saying what they're saying. They may, You may still not agree with them, but you understand why they're saying what they're saying. But for that, you need to put yourself in their shoes. And the second aspect of level 3 is you speak as, see, level 1 and 2 is ego speaking or ego listening. Level 3 is eco. Eco means the whole. You're speaking as part of the whole. You're not speaking, and the whole in this case is you, your daughter, your family, right? So when you start dealing with this situation from an eco perspective, there's a different view you get. You may still not have a dog, but you might be able to deal with it in a way that makes both of you happy, and not by spending more time with her, like your preferred solution, right? But I think more than examining her, you have to examine yourself. Why do you have this thing against dogs in flats?
Basically, yeah.
Don't even answer my question, just kind of something to look at. Yeah. Do you know people who have dogs in flats who are people you respect and admire, and they seem to be doing all right with the dogs in their flat? So that gives you a different perspective. It starts to loosen your view, your point of view from which you're looking, because that's where you're basically stuck. You've got a view, an opinion that you cannot have dogs in a flat. And then you find all the arguments to justify that points of view. Oh, the dogs feel not okay, then they like to be free. All that is justification for that perspective, right? So, you know, in the course we do, in the Leadership for the Emerging Future program we got some tools we give you. One of the tools is called an empathy walk. In an empathy walk, you don't need to walk, you can sit and have coffee as well, empathy coffee if you want, or tea or chai or whatever you want. But you spend some time with the other person to understand their perspective, to understand their point of view, to understand why they feel what they're feeling, not in order to solve a problem, not in order to have a solution to something, but just to get into their world. You step into their world. And your daughter, how old is your daughter?
She's 26.
26. And so, you know, she's got a different world from you.
Obviously.
She lives in a different world. And put yourself in her shoes. Now, with Venetia, it's not such a real situation as with you. With you, this is a real situation. You're dealing with it. But
No, it's a very real situation, and I have 2 dogs at home.
Very good. Anyway, can we just stop for a moment now in this subject? Because I think we've thrown enough light on this, okay? So let's go back to dialogue, right? So in dialogue, you have to speak, but you don't speak from your point of view. You don't speak from what you think, or you don't speak from what others want to hear. You speak from seeing yourself as part of the whole. And see, and then you got to go back to the fields, the levels of conversation. You have to open your mind and you have to open your heart and let go of your downloading. All these things have to be done. So, where was I? I'm just kind of getting myself to, okay, good. So let's have a conversation now, okay? I'm going to stop the sharing and let's talk. What insights are you getting? What's opening up for you? What's closing down? How about what ifs? This is with regard to dialogue, not with regard to dogs, not with regards to having dogs in the house, just dialogue. What are you getting out of this conversation that you can take out and use in your life?
One thing, can I try it out?
Yeah, sure.
One thing, of course, is there that we already have a dog in house, but now, but we had this conversation earlier. The thing is that the way we do in coaching, we don't straight away get into solution provider mode. We further get more options from the person or the person, rather than getting a solution provider. Get into dialogue mode rather than being a solution provider.
Right. But the question I asked Jagmohan is, what are you taking away from here? What is going to make a difference to you that you can take away from this conversation? Otherwise, you will become like my friend Jitu. You're only listening from your downloading of what coaching does. And you're not hearing this conversation.
Mm.
And it's okay. You can think for a while, Jagmohan. Somebody else, what do you see? What
Can
are you
I
going to...
say what I am thinking on
Of course
is
you can.
to
Of course you can.
keep my heart open.
Keep
When
your heart
any
open.
argument happening, I have a way to open my heart and really experience what he's saying and really provide that listening. That when most of the time I've seen that either when any seniors are talking or any elderly people talking, I am just listening, or I'm saying, I'm just becoming a nice girl and I'm saying, okay, I will not. And when I need to speak, I keep on debating that, and I just don't listen. So you pointed out that there is complete no listening. And this is when I will see that I have an opportunity to open my heart and listen to someone.
Yeah.
That's
Very
what
good.
yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, Ferdi, Ravi here.
Yeah, Ravi.
Yeah, what I'm seeing is here, there's like a barrier is that listening about myself. That okay, that is I'm isolated, I'm separate from this world. So always I was listening from I'm a separate entity or identity, so that I'm not part of this, or maybe I'm in this world, but okay, I'm not. I mean, they're not listening to me. That's
Yeah,
where I was
there is a
coming.
me. There is a me and there's a you. Or there's a
Yeah,
me and there's a them. And that's how we relate. And that's what we call the ego world.
yeah. Now what I'm seeing is that ecology or ecosystem we are part of.
Eco world, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shift to an eco world. In an eco world, there's no me and you. We're all one.
Yeah.
In the Hindu philosophy, they call it Advaita.
Yeah.
Non-duality. Yeah, you're all oneness. But I'm not even advocating that. You can still be yourself and still be the other, but there's a bigger you, bigger self, including more of the world in you. Right? Ravi, thank you.
Thank you.
So here's my question. Do you think that we need more dialogue in the world?
Yes.
Absolutely, right? We do need more dialogue in the world. So there is a subject called in theory, in the work we do, there's something called awareness-based collective action. 4 words: awareness, that is, you become aware. Are you becoming aware there's a lack of dialogue in the world, right? That awareness-based collective action. So our intention is that there should be action to shift the world from debate to dialogue. That should be happening, but it can't happen by me alone. It's going to have to happen by a collective, by most of the people around us saying, hey, this doesn't work. This opinion, this base, this arguments, Hindutva and Muslim and this and that, doesn't work. we're just in downloading. We're not seeing anything for what it is. We're not seeing any possibility around us. We need to have more of that. So awareness-based collective action is where more and more people become aware of something. And out of becoming aware of something, they take action. And their action is coordinated, not the same action. So the action I take may be different from the action Jagmohan takes, may be different from the action Shraddha takes, but the actions are correlated. They're correlated towards creating a dialogue world, creating a world in which we can have more dialogue. And to do that, we need to A, become aware of our downloading. B, we need to let go of it, open our mind. We need to open our heart. And we need to really start to listen to other people and what they're saying and have the room for what they're saying, especially for disconfirming data. And we start practicing that. But we're practicing that in the larger perspective of we want to have a world of dialogue, a world in which there is more dialogue. Right now, there's more debate than there's dialogue, or there's more suppression. There's more level 1, there's more level 2. We want more level 3. We want to urge you, you can take this out into the world. Practice. Practice it where? In your family, in your home. Practice opening your mind, opening your heart, listening to the other person's perspective, dialoguing, finding out what's happening. So I recommend that each of you try doing one of our practices. It's called empathy walk. You pick somebody in your life that you want to know better, and you spend some time with them and find out about them. So let's do a demonstration of that. Somebody want to do an empathy walk with me? One of you, find out more about me. Because I would like you to do it with other people. So you need a demonstration so you can see how you can do it.
I can give it a try, Ferdi.
Kamaldeep? Was it Kamaldeep?
I can give it a try.
Who's
Manish Jha.
Manish, you've done the LFAF, right?
No.
Sorry? No, I have not.
Okay, good. Yeah. So let's do it. Okay. So now let me do it with you first, then you do it with me.
Sure,
Okay.
Ferdi. Sure.
So I'm having this conversation because I really want to get to know you better, Manish.
Yeah.
So Manish, what do you do in life?
I'm a businessman, Ferdi.
And what's your business?
Executive search. I'm in the business of recruitments.
Very good, very good. And where did you study?
I have done my schooling from different parts of the country. A lot of Kendra Vidyalayas. That's it.
So your parents were in the army or something? Armed forces?
Yeah, my father was in army.
Right. So what was your life like growing up?
It was fun, adventurous, exciting. A lot of grounding happened culturally in the Indian Army culture and ethos. I learned a lot from different, while traveling to different parts of India. So it was really fun.
And living in different parts of India, right? Yeah, great. So now, by the way, I'm just giving you an example of what questions you can ask. Just general questions, everyday questions you can ask. So you get to know the person better. Let's switch. Now you interview me, Manish.
Hi, Ferdi.
Hi.
So I see that your background is, different than regular Indian homes. Are you not in India?
No, I'm not in India. I am in England. I'm in a place called Chester. For most people, England is London, London is England. But they're two
Chester,
different
that famous textile hub. It used to be Chester, I think.
Chester, no, that is Manchester. Manchester used to be a textile hub. But Chester in Latin means fortress fort.
Oh.
So it used to be a Roman fort. We still have Roman remains and an amphitheater, half an amphitheater, where they used to have all the games, the Roman games and stuff like that.
Wow.
So,
And what do you do, Ferdi?
oh, I do this. I do management consulting. I work with people. I'm an executive coach. I coach people. I work with people in Theory U, in this program, Theory U, and try to put it out there. And really what I am interested in is causing a new civilization for human beings.
Wow.
I'm using the word civilization, a new kind of civilization. The kind of civilization we have right now is one of ego, get, or be on top, be on top, be on top. The way to succeed is be on top, get more money, get more qualification, get a bigger house, get a bigger car, get a bigger whatever. And I have 2 children and they're both in their 20s. And when I look, what do I want for them? Well, my daughter's an artist. She really is an artist, but she went to university and studied English because we don't get a lot of money being an artist. So I want her to be able to express herself, live the way she wants to live and earn the way she wants to earn and not need to do a job that is not her self-expression, because that's what the world wants, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm interested in, creating a world, a different kind of civilization where it's not all about grow. You can't grow forever. And sometimes you have to grow old and then die. So you grow and then you go down. But we seem to think you can grow. Companies can grow. Countries can grow. And we're killing ourselves. We're killing everybody. We're killing the climate. We're killing the weather. We're killing, all that. So that's what I am engaged with.
Wow.
Some sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Ferdi, what point in your life you realized that this would be something that you would take a stand for, this new civilization?
The term new civilization is recent, but I've always wanted to solve the problems that I saw around me, right? But I realized as I grew older and worked with people that the problems are not the problem. The context in which the problems happen, there's an environment in which all these problems happen. And if you can solve the one problem, another problem, but the environment will generate new problems. You have to create a new environment if you want those problems to disappear. So a new civilization, we think of the economy. The economy is about, what we call the economy is about 200 years old, 300 years old at the most. It wasn't like that before. And we think it lasted forever and ever and ever. No, it didn't. So we can create, there have been new civilizations created as we've gone along. We can create a new kind of civilization.
Okay.
We got to stop now, otherwise it'll be all about me, okay? But I hope it was interesting to you.
It was very interesting, Ferdi. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Manish, for asking those questions. So my invitation, find somebody in your life and have an empathy walk with them. Find out more about them. With no agenda. Don't try to get anywhere. Don't try to solve anybody. You just want to get to know them.
Right.
Okay. So now, where are we? Right. So now I'm going to wrap up the business of dialogue, which is where we've gone right now. All that I'm saying is that dialogue is a big missing, and we need to get it into our civilization. You got to be more dialogue-based civilization. And the only way to do it is more and more people become aware of dialogue and the missing of dialogue, aware of listening and how listening is done, and then bring forth a new level of conversation and dialogue and listening, okay? That's to end the subject. Now, this is also really an introduction. We want to introduce you. We want to entice you to our shop. It's a nice place. It's called Dialogue, but then we want to tell you about our program. But we think our program is really powerful and can make a huge difference in your life. And it's called Leadership from the Emerging Future. It's all about providing leadership in this day and age, 21st century. In this day and age, you can't look into the past to see what you should do in the future, because the whole thing right now is so disruptive. Not just COVID or Omni, whatever they call it now, right? That one's really disrupting us. Before that, Delta. But it's not just COVID, but it's also the disruptions which are caused by digital. The digital disruptions all over the world. Whatever you call your job yesterday is not your job today. It's a totally different job. Everything is changing all over the place. And as leaders, how do we guide people who look to us for leadership? We normally look into the past to see what has happened in the past. We think we'll find some answers to that. Then when we look, we see that things that are happening now have never happened in the past. We can kind of force it to be similar, but it's not similar. So how do we create or be leaders from a future that's emerging? The future hasn't even emerged yet. It is emerging. How do we adjust ourselves, adapt ourselves, and work towards creating that kind of future? And for that, besides learning from the past, we have to learn from the future as it emerges. As the future is coming out, learn from that future as it emerges. So this program is part of Theory U, and it is created by a gentleman by the name of Dr. Otto Sharma. And let me see if I can get you. Sorry, guys. Yeah. I'm going old, fellas. That's my problem. How old do you think I am?
30.
30? I wish I was. No, I'm 72. 71, actually, going to be 72 soon. So I forget sometimes, how as you grow older, you forget. See, this is, can you see what's on the screen? What did I do? Sorry. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
yes, Ferdi.
So there is a U. Can you see a U? So this is a U. There's a mountain. You're on this side of the mountain. And that other side of the mountain is the future. You're trying to get from the present to the future. But there's no path to go straight away because there's a big chasm in between. So how do I get from the present to the future that hasn't yet happened, right? So this U gives you the steps in which you can do it. You got to notice that you're downloading, as we saw, all they're seeing is downloading past patterns. You got to suspend it and start seeing it fresh eyes, open mind, then redirect, open, what is it? Mind, open heart, you open your heart, redirect, sense on the field. Then you got to let go of everything that you know and go through the eye of the needle. You know the blue dot there? That's they call the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle is really a reference to a gate in Jerusalem. Back in the old days, all the goods used to go on camels through the routes, through the trade routes. The road became narrower and narrower and narrower until at some point it was so narrow, it was called the eye of the needle. And the camels had to be unloaded so they could go through that gate and get to the other side. When they got to the other side, they loaded the camel again. So this letting go is like unloading yourself, your camel, so that you can go through the eye of the needle, go to the other side and discover your new self, not your ego self, but your eco self, the new self, the self that has no problem with your daughter having a dog, and their daughter has no problem with you saying you can't have a dog in the house, like that. A different self. And then you're listening for what is the world calling you to be and do. And then you crystallize your vision and your intention, and you create a prototype and get a team of people together and work with them. And then finally, you take it to scale. So this can be applied to businesses. It can be applied to individuals. It can be applied to small organizations, big organization. And the program we're offering is to start with, is a 2-day program, Saturday and Sunday, where you actually look at downloading past patterns, look at suspending and fascia, redirecting, letting go. And maybe you go through the eye of the needle, maybe not, because 2 days may be too short a time, but you go through that. And then there are 6 evening sessions that follow, which are 2.5 hours each, where you actually practice these things and put them into your life. Okay, and then if you want to go forward towards going through the eye of the needle, and you want to go up to you on this side, we have other programs that you can participate with us in. Okay, so this program cost you 250 pounds, which is the COVID price, and it's 25,000 rupees or something. So
25,000 plus tax.
25,000 plus tax. And you know, some of you have heard about it, so you might be ready to do it. Some of you are just hearing about it, so you need some more time to work things out, and you're in different places. And some of you are, okay, I only came for this dialogue stuff. I didn't want any more other programs. And you're not interested in looking further. You may be in that place. That's all right too. So you can see there's this guy, he's looking into the emerging future, looking out into the emerging future. And it is the program that is available and open right now is, what are the dates, Manoj? January?
8th and 9th.
January 8th and 9th. And because I want to be participating in it and leading it as well, and because we have different time zones, we start at 12 noon your time, Indian time, and we end at 8 o'clock.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. on Saturday, 12 noon to 8 p.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. And then there are evenings. Evenings are generally 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 or 10 p.m. Right?
So 2.5 hour session once a week.
Right. So Manoj, you want to take on over from me at this point?
I am not able to do the breakout room. There is a small challenge with the internet, so you'll have to give me a couple of minutes.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Take it time. Take it time. In the meanwhile, I'm going to take some questions from people. So I know I suddenly pulled the rug from under your feet. So if you're upset with me, let me know. But otherwise, do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to say? And we have some people who have completed the program here. Raj, anything you want to share with them?
Yeah, thanks, Ferdi. Yeah, about 5 weeks back, I came into this program, and till then I thought I've reached some place, and I was also preparing to wind up my life. I'm 62. To find out that it was just a overwhelm. Whenever I used to meet another person, even an informal meeting, I used to always carry a certain aura around me that there is something which is like a big block between me and the other person. Now I'm able to see it, notice it, observe it. And as I'm noticing it, I'm getting a feeling of loosening, and I'm trying to activate probably 1% of my heart to listen to people. Inside of that, I'm seeing something really emerging. And for a lot of good results have happened, not like claiming that I have caused it. There are great things, which is like a turnaround for me. Right. Now I'm present to the horoscope reader long back. Somebody said at 62 you will transform. I think that time. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, very good, very good, great. And by the way, he is a very well-known builder in real estate developer in Bangalore. Okay, thank you. So somebody else who's done the program would like to share with our people what you got from it, our guests what you got from it. It would be great.
Ferdi, can I go?
Yeah, Sanjay Kumar.
Yes, Ferdi, and good evening, everybody. It has been truly a pleasure and honor to have gone through this program. And this program has given me so much ease and freedom in life. Like I was not even present to this kind of stiffness, the kind of rigidness that I have been relishing or cherishing unknowingly. It was there, not worth cherishing, but it was there and it was troubling day in, day out, here and there. And I was not even present that there is something that I need to do or I need to learn. And I landed up in the program with a different intention, but suddenly after the completion of the program, I noticed that a lot of those shackles have been shed off. They have started loosening, and gradually I am enjoying the bliss of those moments, cranking moments coming in life, coming in interactions, in relations, in business, and new horizons are opening up for my business. And I am very much called in for new kind of actions, new kind of modules, new kind of openings in my venture that I didn't even used to think few months before. So that's what's happening, and that is the it's a kind of freedom, it's a kind of bliss that I'm experiencing.
Very good, Sanjay Kumar. Thank you for sharing. You know, we have people from Thailand, we have people from the Philippines, so Wang or Om, if you'd like to share.
Ferdi, the room is available for people if you want to have a conversation with me.
I'll share quickly.
Yeah, please, Wang, go ahead. Wang, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Wang. I'm from the Philippines, and just a quick share because my heart is bursting. How on like an actuality of how this principle has helped me. So last Sunday, for the first time, I met with my family, whom I haven't seen for 2 years because of the pandemic. And one of my elder cousin, like I know you have this in India, like the hierarchy in the family. He is one of the youngest and one of the oldest cousins. So we have a gap even before a pandemic for I think 5 years already. And I only found out in the event that she's coming. So I also worried. There's just so much thoughts in my head. But then in this education, like there's catching my downloading. So I was able to catch what I think, my assumptions, my opinion, my judgment about my cousin. And while, I think while she's on the way, I was just really catching my downloading and I'm letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. Such that when I finally saw her, I'm just so overwhelmed with love. Because I realized that, this situation, pandemic, what it's really teaching us is to, to really be with people important to us, and that's family. So when I saw her, I know that, she has a lot of issues about me, but I just, went to her and then kissed her in the head and told her I love her. I didn't even know if it landed, but I'm just so overwhelmed because it's so authentic. Like it's not a performance. It's an authentic expression of love for family. And I was able to do that because of this. So that's it, Ferdi. Thank you.
Wonderful, Wang. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Natakan, you'd like to share?
Yes, Shrikant. Hello?
Oh, Shrikant. Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead, Shrikant.
Let him first.
Let's have Natakan, then we'll have Shrikant, okay? Natakan, please.
All right, thank you, Ferdi. Before than this course, I thought I have a legacy project, okay? That I think I will do something for my home country. But after the course, it shocked me myself as well. Like previously, the project that I want to do, it served myself, which is I really don't know about that. But after I got something open up in the course, and I realized like when I turning camera around and you ask, and I have been asking myself, this is for me, myself, or really for others. So
Very good.
I find out like all this is the purest project is for myself, actually for myself. But
Yes.
after that, I can see what possible that I actually interesting or actually have an intention on, which is about the education equip children for life, which is very open up for me. And you know, it's very magical. Like it's easily, I attract everything according to this project. Even sometimes I'm struggle. So I sit down and present to myself, go back to my heart and go back to my intention again. And something's open up again. It's just like it keep continues moving forward after the course. Yeah,
Very
that's
good.
what I would like to share.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Shrikant, can we have you?
Yeah. See, Ferdi, with this program, actually, the downloading is automatically let go on, and I have absolute peace of mind. And with that, I could listen to anyone, everyone, always with my heart, so that I can really understand what is there in their heart and what is they are opening out or what they are trying to hide it. If sometimes they feel it is not advisable to share. But when I ask them, you feel free to share, then they open it out and share everything. And then I am able to make some important difference in their life. And that gives me a tremendous pleasure of taking this.
Very good. And you have some guests today. Would you like to introduce them?
Manish is there. Manish is my friend. Jitna is my friend. Jitu is my friend.
All right. All right. Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you for introducing these people. And we have come nearly to the end of the time we've allocated to ourselves. But those of you who'd like to know more, you'd like to ask questions, you'd like to whatever, you could go into one of these rooms, right? So how do they go to the room, Manoj?
They can just click and join the room which says registration.
Right.
Okay, and I will go there and be available to support them.
Right. So, and Manoj will be there. And in the meanwhile, the rest of you, if you're staying here, we're going to be wrapping up soon. I want to thank you very, very much for your participation, your engagement. I hope we met your expectations. Normally, it's very difficult to meet people's expectations, but we hope we met your expectations for why we came here. And for those of you who are going to engage with us in the future, thank you for looking at that. And I'm looking forward to participating.